Namaskar and welcome to another episode of What Does This Data Say? I am Ajay Prakash. There is one thing that I keep telling my viewers is that don't just believe any data which is put forward by our politicians, not without really understanding what they are saying and not without cross checking it. There are several figures which our ministers keep floating around, but just as an example, I'll discuss about the GDP numbers. Now, there is so much of hulla gulla being created that we will reach $5 trillion dollars in the next few years. Our economy will become the fourth largest, we will surpass Germany, so on and so forth. But then I keep telling people the GDP as a standalone number is meaningless unless you compare it with something else or with some other data. The GDP doesn't really signify anything at all. What could be more relevant to you and me is the GDP per capita. Now, today's India's GDP per capita stands at 2,600 US dollars, and we rank 139th in the world when it comes to GDP per capita. That means there are 138 countries in the world who have a GDP per capita better than us. And so you won't be surprised why no politician ever talks about the per capita GDP. Therefore, it is but natural that our GDP will be very large because our population today is extremely large. We have become the world's most populous nation recently. So, having a large GDP is no great achievement at all. Now I am going to read out a tweet by K.T. Ramarao. K.T. Ramarao, as you all know, is the son of the Telangana Chief Minister, Mr. KCR, and he is a minister in the cabinet for IT and municipal administration, and a few other portfolios are with him. This tweet is pinned on KTR's Twitter handle. You can also see this. Now he states, state with highest per capita growth in India, in reference to Telangana, the first state to provide drinking water to all homes, the state that completed world's largest irrigation project, best rural development, and then he goes on with about 15-20 points. In the end, he says, yet the Prime Minister of India has not a single word of appreciation, refuses to acknowledge a performing state for petty politics. Narendra Modi ji, I challenge you to name a state that has performed better all round than Telangana in the last 9 years. Now, why did KTR have to say this? The reason of this tweet was in response to Mr. Modi's visit to Hyderabad on April 8th, 2023, when he came here to flag off the Secunderabad Tirupati Vande Bharat Express. Now, if you look at these photographs closely, you will find that while he's in Secunderabad, that's the photograph on the right hand side, neither KCR nor KTR nor any of his senior ministers are with Mr. Modi. Only the governor is standing next to him. As a matter of fact, KCR always makes himself unavailable whenever Mr. Modi visits the state of Telangana. On the other hand, while he's in Chennai, you can see MK Stalin accompanied the Prime Minister to flag off the Chennai Coimbatore Vande Bharat train. While in Secunderabad for the inauguration of the Vande Bharat Express, Mr. Modi, in his usual customary style, made a speech. In that speech, he mentioned that a handful of people are encouraging Parivarwad. The reference was to KCR and KTR. And then, surprisingly, he went on to say, rather made an appeal to the Telangana Chief Minister that he should not obstruct any development that is being planned by the central government for the people of the state of Telangana. He expressed pain at the alleged non cooperation of the ruling dispensation towards central initiatives. Now, this statement of Mr. Modi not only upset KCR and KTR, actually, there is no love loss between both of them anyway, but it was a rather a shock for the people of Bharatiya Janata Party who was sitting on the dais along with Mr. Modi. They had never expected Mr. Modi to criticize the state government in on the development front, because Telangana in the last 7 years or 8 years of its formation has been one of the best performing states of India. Its growth rate has always been above the national average, and in some areas it has been doing exceedingly well. The reality is that it's the central government which has been withholding permission for several of the state government's projects which the central government itself had declared. Now, yesterday Amit Shah was here, and after Amit Shah's visit, KTR has put up this tweet. I'll just read it out. Thank you, Home Minister Amit Shah ji, on laying the foundation for ITIR Hyderabad National Project Status for Palamuru, RR Lift Irrigation Project, Hyderabad Metro Phase 2, IIM, IIT, IIT, NID, etc. Oh, wait, he did none of that. Amit ji, why don't you name one BJP governed state which has fared better than Telangana in the last 9 years? Obviously, this was a jibe at Amit Shah. Both Prime Minister Modi's speech and yesterday's Amit Shah's speech has not improved the lot of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Telangana. Now, while Mr. Modi was criticizing the Telangana government on April 8th, something rather interesting happened, and I'm sure that Mr. Modi would have got even further upset by this tweet. Now, before I talk about this tweet, the usual request: if you like our program, please subscribe to my channel, and if you like this episode, please share this with your friends. In the morning of April 8th, this tweet was put out by Mr. Anil Swarup. I'll just tell you very briefly who is Mr. Anil Swarup. He is a retired IAS officer, a highly decorated, respectable, and a competent officer. In his tweet, he mentioned Telangana has the highest per capita income in the country. Credit should go to its hardworking people, its visionary politicians, and efficient bureaucracy who made this possible. Is there a political, social, or economic lesson for the future of the state or the country? And he marked this to Telangana Chief Minister's office. I'm aware many of you will not be able to read this tweet, but don't bother. In the next few slides, I'm going to get into the details of the data which has been shown by Mr. Anil Swarup. This tweet of Anil Swarup that day became almost viral. There were thousands of people who saw this tweet, and as many of them retweeted it as well. In no time, a narrative was built up to counter Mr. Modi. On the one hand, we had the Prime Minister who was criticizing the state government, saying that it is blocking the development. And on the other hand, we had the data which said something which the Prime Minister would not have liked at all. Now, I'll show you what this data was. This data was given out by the Minister of Statistics and Program Implementation in response to a Lok Sabha question on 29th March 2023. The question was raised by Srimati Poonam Mahajan and Ms. Ramya Haridas, and they had asked whether there is a huge disparity in per capita income among the various states, and they wanted the state-wise data. In the next few slides, I'll be showing the summary of what was given in the data by the minister. In order to show the disparity of income among the various states, the minister had given out the state per capita GDP. Now, here are the bottom 5 states according to what the minister had given out. At the bottom is Bihar with a GDP per capita of 53,428, then followed by Uttar Pradesh second from the bottom, and then Jharkhand at the third place from bottom, Assam and Jammu and Kashmir. This data pertains to the year 22-23. And here are the top 5. Right at top is Delhi at 4,20,691 as the per capita income. Then followed by Telangana at second place, a little over 3 lakh, followed closely by Karnataka, then Haryana, and at the fifth from the top is Tamil Nadu. Remember, I have only taken the large states, and wherever the data was missing in this year's list, I have just extrapolated it from the previous year at a growth rate of 8%. And believe me that the actual figures will not be very different. Many of you might question that this data may be pertaining to the year 22-23, but in the past, definitely some of these states must have been doing better because there was a double engine sarkar in these places. So I'm going to show you the list for 2017, 2018 as well, and then you can compare them together. So here is the comparison of this year's data with 2017-18, and this pertains to the bottom 5 large states. Now if you look at this year's data, I just told you Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, Assam and J&K were the bottom 5, and in 2017-18 too, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Assam, they have retained their positions, and the only one which moved out is Madhya Pradesh, and J&K came in the last 5 list. And we all know Jammu and Kashmir has been under President's rule from 2019 onwards. Here is the same comparison for the top 5 large states. In 2017-18, we had Delhi topping the list, followed by Haryana, Karnataka, Kerala and Uttarakhand. Now this has changed drastically this year. Delhi retains the top position. At second place, Telangana has come in. Then Karnataka retains the place at third position. Haryana slips to the fourth position. And then we have Tamil Nadu, which is a new entrant, and Uttarakhand goes out. So as per the data from the Government of India, the growth of Telangana has been very strong in the last 5 years. The growth has been remarkable, it has been deep rooted, and it has been consistent. The Prime Minister's statement is not supported by facts. In fact, if the central government had approved all the schemes which the state government had requested for, the growth might have been even higher. So rather than criticizing the southern states, it is time for the BJP to start looking at the states where they are running a double engine sarkar. So that's all in today's episode. I'll see you again next week with some more interesting data. Till then, goodbye and namaskar.